More on that in a moment, but first let's go back to Capitol Hill. Hunter Biden testifying yesterday lasted 7 hours. Our next guest was in the room, Wisconsin Congressman and member of the House Judiciary Committee, Scott Fitzgerald.
Good morning to you, Congressman.
Good morning. Good morning.
So we know that you were at the deposition. Was there anything that surprised you yesterday from Hunter?
You remember the show Cops?
Yeah.
Where everyone that was arrested was innocent, confused about what the details were, couldn't remember anything. I heard hours of that yesterday. And, that means it distills it down to kind of, if it wasn't such a serious topic and the things that he was involved in, you would think it's kind of a two-bit criminal type of deal. But a lot of the stuff is refuted. A lot of the stuff he said was refuted by actual evidence that we have in our possession between judiciary and oversight. So, after listening to his rap for hours, it didn't change my mind at all about whether or not he was engaged and involved in many of these things that we've known for some time.
We don't get to see Hunter in public very often. He certainly doesn't speak publicly very often. Claims that he's clean and sober. What did you make of just his disposition yesterday in the room?
Yeah, I've heard the word lucid used a couple of times, which, this is a guy that's operated in this space for years now, in the shadows of his father's ability to kind of wheel and deal and use the power of being an elected official at a high level to give him kind of this red carpet treatment that he receives from many different angles, specifically from foreign nationals. So I think it raises another series of questions about, to what extent was he operating as kind of an agent of the president of the United States, or previously vice president or a U.S. senator. So it certainly, I think, allowed us to kind of dig deeper. And you're right. This is, even though he seems to be a public figure and is in the public all the time, it's much different to be in the room and listen to him, like I said, kind of just, ramble on about things that he was involved in or denying what he was involved in.
So, we understand that he also discussed his addiction at length, saying that he was high or drunk when he sent certain messages mentioning his father. And while he seemed to be able to recall some things with clarity, others, as you said, he just could not recall. Did he seem credible? Did you believe anything that he was saying? It seemed like he seemed to blame his addiction on some things.
Yeah, credible, no, not at all. And I will say that, obviously this is a defense that he's used publicly already for many of his actions. And I'll just say he was not hesitant to go back to that defense, right? I don't know what I was doing. I was out of my mind. I was high. I was, in a place that wasn't good. I hope this doesn't happen to anybody else. I hope it doesn't happen to your family, that type of thing.
And he's the guy is a Yale-educated attorney. So he knows how to manipulate, and he knows what to say and what not to say. You kept him in there for 7 hours, so 7 hours would break anybody, I think. Take a look at what happened with Fani Willis and Nathan Wade in Georgia 2 weeks ago in Fulton County. When they first got on the stand, particularly Nathan Wade, he was very composed. A couple hours later, it wasn't the case. Did that same thing happen yesterday? In other words, do you feel like now, and I just asked Greg Steube, your colleague from Florida, the same question, now do you feel like this is ebbing toward impeachment, or is this just, look, we're going to air out the Biden dirty laundry for the American people, and then they can decide for themselves when they go and vote on November the 5th?
Well, with his attorney, with Abby sitting next to him, kind of objecting to many of the different lines of questioning that members had come up with, there was an opportunity for them to kind of derail some of the more poignant stuff, which you would expect, right? That's kind of why the attorney is sitting there. But the fact of the matter is, there are many different topics and areas that were discussed yesterday that, quite honestly, I think it's very easy to refute or demonstrate based on the work that both committees have done that would really raise questions ultimately about what Joe Biden's involvement was, and Jim Biden, whose name was brought up obviously hundreds of times yesterday in the deposition.
All right, Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys. Good to be
Thanks,
with you.
Congressman. You too.
Thanks.